cops. They went before a judge. They just let them go. And unfortunately, if it's a small crime, they're not going to do any time.
Well, even if it's a big crime, they don't do crime any time at all. The reality is, for 3 years now, we've been telling Albany that the bail reform laws are not working. And clearly they're not working because these individuals are out. This law has to be changed to hold the criminal element accountable for their actions. And there must be consequences. And until we have consequences, crime will continue to go up.
Absolutely, because let's face it, Paul, they are a flight risk for the people who beat up the cop. We can't find them. Cops can't find them anywhere.
Yeah.
And so that is a problem. Now, for people watching right now, help us out. I know that now that apparently these migrant mobsters, essentially on the mopeds, have figured a way to hire hackers to hack into your bank apps on your phone. How can we protect ourselves so that if they get our phone, they don't have our bank?
Well, it's very difficult to do. But I will say this. New York City detectives will apprehend these individuals. They will track them down, and they will bring them to justice. I hope that they bring it on a federal level, because if they bring it to the courts in Manhattan, nothing will be done. And that's the problem. This has to be an effort by the NYPD, the federal government, and we have to work hand in hand to make sure that these individuals are properly punished.
Yeah. But Paul, you've been watching the news. The federal government and the localities that are sanctuary cities, they're not working together. They essentially let them into the country, and then they have carte blanche in many instances. Unfortunately, now they've gained the system where they can rob people with impunity.
Well, we have task forces here in the NYPD.
Caracas. A number of the gang members escaped in September 2023 when the Venezuelan government raided the prison, and a lot of them have come over within this surge of migrants from Venezuela into the United States. In the last fiscal year, there have been like 340,000 encounters.
They emptied their prisons out. Yo, listen, this is not something that has not happened before. You remember Cuba did the same thing. That's like... you saw Scarface, it predicted that. That's what you got over here. Killers and gangsters and gangbangers, child molesters, drug dealers. They emptied their prisons out and they let them through the border over here. This is what they're doing. How do you think that you're safe? Jesus.
At the U.S. southern border with Venezuelan migrants. Among those, Border Patrol has apprehended 41 Tren de Aragua gang members. Law enforcement says they are infiltrating cities in the United States and maybe forming alliances with gangs that are already established here. We're seeing the presence of Tren de Aragua in New York City. We're seeing all these brazen cell phone robberies.
Darwin Gomez Iscale is now in police custody, but authorities say he's likely the same man that was indicted in connection to that attack in Times Square just last week. How we know that the 19-year-old is now facing charges that include robbery and petty larceny, all in connection with what happened at this Macy's store yesterday. Now, authorities say he allegedly tried to steal with a group of other migrants from this store more than $600 worth of merchandise yesterday. While he was arrested, the search is on at this hour for 3 others who are a part of that group. The NYPD early this morning released surveillance video showing a woman and 2 other men believed to have been with Iscale. Authorities say the group removed some of the store merchandise and tried to hide it in a bag. When they were confronted by a loss prevention officer, they started to fight. One person from that group allegedly punched that security guard. Then the group ran, last seen fleeing westbound on Queens Boulevard. But again, Darwin Iscale is now in police custody. As we bring it back live, he allegedly matched the description of the same person that was seen in connection to that incident in Times Square with 2 police officers. There was a lot of controversy over the 7 people indicted.
He is in another crime after beating the shit out of the police officer. Once again, I have to ask, where was the tasers and the bullets and the guns that you used for the black people who ain't even doing nothing? They can be sitting in their car and you ready to pull a gun and shoot. They can beat your ass in the middle of Times Square and your ass ain't pull nothing. Well, I guess if you are acting that way, that's going to make them more brazen. That's why they running through there shooting at you too. They going to be ready to kill you because you ain't going to do nothing. They ain't going to treat us like you treat them niggas. Let's go.
In that attack because they were released without bail.
And a lot of them have come over within this surge of migrants from Venezuela into the United States. In the last fiscal year, there have been like 340,000 encounters at the U.S. southern border with Venezuelan migrants. Among those, Border Patrol has apprehended 41 Trinidad gang members. Law enforcement says they are infiltrating cities in the United States and maybe forming alliances with gangs that are already established here. We're seeing the presence of Trinidad in New York City. We're seeing all these brazen cell phone robberies where two guys on a moped will go onto a sidewalk in Manhattan and they will steal a cell phone out of the hands of somebody who's actually talking on the phone. This is important because if you're talking on the phone, your phone is open. So
where are the
the
gangsters
back
that snatch these right up off those
so
mopeds?
that all of your
Like,
apps
really?
are open, and then they take it back to.
As soon as you see them riding down the street, somebody should be on their ass.
A hacker goes through and drains people's bank accounts. The phones are then bundled up and sent to Colombia where they're resold. So it's suddenly a big mess.
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you can access
Colombia where they're resold. So it's suddenly a big mess.
Here in New York City, with tensions high over the growing migrant crisis.
Ghost guns we know are bad. Then you hear ghost criminals, and that could also incite fear. But the mayor and the NYPD have pointed out that these criminals ultimately make up a small portion of the asylum seekers here. This level of crime, there seems to be.
See how they trying to save them. This is just a small portion of the asylum seekers. They're not asylum seekers. They're illegal immigrants that rushed our border illegally, and Joe Biden aided and abetted them for breaking our laws, getting into this country. And now they talk about it's not first of all, you're a criminal. You broke the law starting off in this country. You broke the law. You're a criminal starting off. The very beginning. You broke the law to get in here. So it's just a very a little bit of the illegal immigrants that rushed our borders and say, you gonna take care of us. You ain't got no choice. We coming in here and you gonna take care of us. And in the meantime, we gonna rob your grandmothers, come up there and steal your phone, steal your money out your bank account. We gonna do all that while you taking care of us. Unbelievably disgusting. Let's go.
This kind of network of crime, but it is migrant-based, and it's something that needs to be addressed.
And when you see our police being brutally attacked in the middle of the day, and then you've got immigrants who are being let go with no bail, we don't have IDs on them, we don't know where they're going, and they're flipping the camera and basically flipping the country off on their way out with this entitlement mentality.
Did you see that?
This has been created. We could easily stop it within the day tomorrow.
They're flipping
the
He gave the middle finger
not,
after he beat the police officer and got released. He gave the middle finger coming out the court.
Every single American is seeing.
And I'm about to go lay up in the luxury hotel that y'all paying for, eat y'all food,
we don't have any records of these folks. They're new here. There's no database with their names in it. We don't know where they live, and it's a little bit compounded by the fact that Latin American names often have multiple elements to them that can be switched around.
You see that? They got multiple elements to them. See, even these Latin people in here, they got different names, and they go and file for welfare, and they get more money of the different names. A Spanish woman told me they be doing that bullshit. She told me that I used to work with in the city school district. She told me that. They do that bullshit. Scamming and scheming right off the top. And you get nothing while they get all type of shit. Got all your money in their pockets. Running around. And on top of that, they gonna rob you for the little shit that you gotta work hard for.
So that's why they're ghost gangs. And like ghost guns, which have no registration, ghost cars, which have fake license plates, that's the challenge. challenge for police.
Especially like when you have this ringleader that they're currently looking for. This isn't just, hey, steal a couple of phones or grab a couple of purses while you're on the back of a scooter. They're taking these phones, they're able to download apps, they're able to infiltrate people's banking accounts and drain money that way, and then set up a payment system where if you drive the scooter, you get $100 a day. If you steal the phone, you get between 3 and 5. This is, it's pretty elaborate for somebody who just kind of crossed the border.
Wow.
Yeah, they crossed the border with relationships with gangs in Venezuela. They are a sophisticated group, stealing electric scooters, using them to knock people down and steal their phones, either selling the phones or selling the data in the phones. This is a sophisticated operation.
So if you're a part of the NYPD task force that's tasked with bringing down criminals like this, and when we talk about, ghost criminals and ghost guns and not being able to identify or figure out where these people are coming from with no past record.
We have another incident where migrants fired a shot in a retail store right in Times Square just 2 days ago.
A 15-year-old wanted for opening fire on police officers in a crowded Times Square and shooting a tourist in the leg with a .45 caliber handgun, now in police custody, according to law enforcement.
Considering where these shootings took place, it's an actual miracle that we're not having a very different conversation right now.
Police say the teenage migrant recently arrived in New York from Venezuela in September. One of 3 teens who, according to police, entered a sporting goods store Thursday evening, stopped by a security guard for allegedly stealing clothes.
Our suspect takes out a .45 caliber handgun, a very large handgun. Shoots at her into
a 15-year-old already came in here, been in here just months, already got access to guns, ready to kill and shoot and rob on our streets. Wow.
the crowd, striking a 37-year-old female tourist from Brazil.
Several people have been arrested already in this high-profile case, including this man. He was arrested in the Times Square attack on cops, and now he's in trouble with law enforcement.
What they said, tourist? Well, I guess that's foreigner on foreigner. All right.
Again, in a separate incident.
Police say the 12 gang members charged, who range in age from 16 to 21, to face a judge on multiple felony charges, ranging from armed robberies to attempted murder.
8 migrants arrested, 6 charged, 5 freed without bail. 1 had been released from Brownsville due to capacity issues. 2 were removed from the United States, then re-entered, and 2 entered through the northern border. And because of this incident, how is it that this incident changed the conversation in New York about illegal immigration?
Well, it hit home for sure. I mean, it just became more of a reality. And thank you for having me on, and good evening to you.
Yeah.
It became the reality of the actual violence that's taking place.
I bought a bank. Let's go see what's inside the vault. Now, going inside the bank vault, shelter, free food, and now prepaid credit cards. And I'm wondering how the mayor thinks that he's going to tell people to stop coming when he's offering them.
Can I get a little piece of that? I need that little help. Can I get a prepaid credit card to help me out with my expenses?
Under the
I got a lot of
saving
expenses.
the city,
I need a little help.
Millions of dollars on the
Is New York State going to help me out, or do I got to go across the border and come back and flee back over to get some help?
Let me say something here. One of the main reasons for these cards are so that they could purchase the food that they're used to eating from the countries that they come from. They were unhappy with the food that we were giving them in the shelters. They were throwing it out for garbage. They were complaining.
Do you hear this? The free food that we were paying for, giving it to them, they were throwing it out complaining. So now Mayor Adams said that we're going to give you a card where you can go buy the cuisine and the lobsters and steaks and whatever it is that you want to eat, that you like to eat. We're here to serve you. American citizen, keep your ass out on the street. You lucky if you get a biscuit.
That they weren't eating native food from their
these people want you to vote for them come November.
This is absolutely ludicrous. It's ridiculous, and I'm going to welcome sign out. We're going to see what happens with this. We know on the surface it's a disaster, but let's go back.
Forgive me for 1 second. There's something deeper here that I think is going on. And there is a realization in New York that had been so welcoming, and it sort of looked down at the rest of the country of, oh, how can you be worried about the border crisis? We're a city of immigrants, on and on and on.
What I'm seeing here is a shift in moderate.
Yeah, see, they thought that before them southern states who at the border started sending them immigrants up there. When they started sending them up there, they're like, oh, whoa, what are you doing? Yeah. It's not sustainable. Mayor Brandon in Chicago, you're done. Mayor Buck Dancing, what's that Negro name in New York City? I forget his name. Mayor Adams, you're done. Both of y'all are going to be one-term mayors. You suck. You're done. You have no black backing. Black people don't even like you because you came out and Mayor Johnson came out and just lied to black people and said, yeah, we're going to do all these things except for I'm going to give all your resources, all the money to these migrants and screw you. Mayor Adams came back out and said, oh, yeah, you black people that's doing crimes in New York, we're going to make sure we put the full force on your ass. Now he got this migrant problem. Now he's in trouble. You got no blacking for black people at all. You Sambo scumbag punks. Them white supremacy are going to leave you out to dry, boy. Continue.
Democrats being totally fed up. Nobody likes what's going on here in the city of New York. We have, these streets have become, it's become the wild, wild west. And nobody's being held accountable. And everybody's shaking their head and they're saying...
Why are nobody held accountable? Black people are held accountable all the time, everywhere, for even crimes they haven't even committed, even for doing nothing. We're held accountable. Why aren't nobody being held accountable? Can anybody tell me? Can anybody tell me this? Can anybody let me know? I'm just asking a question. Continue.
How is this happening? Well, the simple reason is you voted for this. You voted for this. You know exactly what you get when you vote. And if you don't know what you get when you vote, then I'm sorry to say to the people of New York City, you better start to get educated really, really quick because we're not going to be able to take this. We got an election coming up.
They are, nonetheless, preying on New Yorkers and making our city less safe.
Yesterday, in his annual trip to Albany, Mayor Adams signaled that he's open to issuing an executive order allowing for the NYPD to notify ICE about migrants who commit dangerous felonies.
Oh, he's opening to that now, you punk. Yeah, you're going to crash the city. You're going to crash your whole budget. He's going to crash everything. There's no way in the world. What is he going to run on next election? I'm gonna run on the fact that I neglected New York City, sending the poor people in New York, and I gave all the resources to illegal immigrants, and it bankrupted us, and I don't know what happened. That's what he's gonna run on. We'll find out.
It is something we would love to entertain and to look at.
In 2014, the city council passed a law that would place limits on how the NYPD can cooperate with ICE. Adams says it would be up to his legal team to see if he could override this law, but agree that migrants who commit serious crimes should not be allowed to live here.
I believe if you create repeated felonies in our city, the federal government should do its job and have that individual deported from our city.
This case highlighting the sanctuary city laws, which limit New York City agencies in their involvement with ICE. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said this week it's a matter for City Council to take up, and just yesterday he said he supports deportations in these instances.
For the safety of migrants, the city explains in a statement it's, quote, prioritizing the health and safety of asylum seekers and surrounding New Yorkers, and that it, quote,
we'll help prioritize. The first thing they said is we're going to help prioritize the safety of the immigrants. They're not asylum seekers. They're illegal immigrants. And they illegally came into this country. And our government, run by Joe Biden and the Democrats, officiated this and allowed them to come in here illegally and do what they're doing. Set them up. They're going to be above you. They're going to have more resources than you. And you've been sitting here working your ass off to try to keep things together and build things. They're going to be above you because they're given resources that they're not going to give you. It's unbelievable. Let's continue.
Allow for more efficient capacity management for migrants in the city's care. Mayor Adams spoke about the curfew at an unrelated event Sunday.
Anything that can keep us safe, that's the goal.
Public safety. He's a scumbag. We gonna leave this picture on this stupid scumbag Negro. And they about to leave you out to dry, boy. And you ain't gonna have no black support. Do you understand?